Welcome, welcome, welcome. One Love Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Rodney Giddens. So glad that you could be here today with us. That you can be anywhere, wherever you are, is the right place to be. And even better that you are here with us today, live, or maybe you're watching the recording. Anyway, thank you. So we are in a wonderful space of now. Welcome to now, and welcome to our Sunday adventure conversation. Yes, we are talking about living spiritually naked. Ooh, there's a whole lot of revealing going on. However, first, we're going to start with a very revealing tune, One Love. And we welcome you with our One Love song. Oh, 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 yeah.
There's a place where love grows, where the spirit in you knows that you're welcome as you are, shining bright like every star. Come and learn, come and play in the sacred light of day. We're unfolding, growing free in the One Love family. One love, one life, one spirit divine, one heart, one life, your journey and mine, where compassion flows and grace abounds. One love, where love grows, love is found. One love, where love grows all around. Yeah. One love, one light, one light, one light, one spirit divine. Yeah. One heart, one light, one light, one light, your journey and mine, where compassion flows and grace abounds. One love, where love grows, love is found. One love, where love grows all around. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Welcome to the sacred space, where we honor every face, the splendor of the God in you, shining through in all you do. Learning, growing, hand in hand, together we will understand. Prosperous, giving, hearts set free. One love is our destiny. One love, one light, one spirit divine, one heart, one light, your journey and mine, where compassion flows and grace abounds. One love, where love grows, love is found. One love, where love grows all around. Welcome home to one love, home to one love. Welcome home to one love, where love grows, yeah. To one love.
One love. Yes, that's who and what you are. That's who and what we are. We are all love and we are all one. I'd like to invite you to join me into this opening prayer. Oh, well, before we do the prayer, let's talk about why we're here to do the prayer. We're on a mission, One Love Center, and centers like this, centers of truth, churches, synagogues, you name it, whatever religion, we're all about really the truth. And our mission, Centers for Spiritual Living, One Love Center, is to provide a stable, welcoming community for all who choose to learn, practice, grow, and play in the unfolding of their understanding of spiritual principles and spiritual living. We envision a world as a sacred environment where spiritual living flourishes through the continual growth and development of learning and the application of the spiritual principles. Our community has been lovingly created as a space of fellowship, meditation, prayer, sacred and healing service, musical celebration, classes, workshops, and spiritual film. One Love Center practices compassion in service, love in action, and joyous, prosperous giving in the community. We welcome our first time visitors, our guests. We welcome everyone. And we do it like this. We just know that we recognize the splendor of the infinite divine spirit that is you. Please know that we support you in being the best you choose to be in this glorious life. And we thank you for celebrating spirit with us today. Welcome to a place where love grows. Welcome to One Love Center for Spiritual Living. Yes, so with that, we're going to go deeper because yes, we are one and we're recognizing that we are one. I mean me and our practitioner Lita Perez, also our practitioner Ellen Suazo. We have a minister, Hajar Rahim, Reverend Hajar Rahim, and you. And so please join us in that high holy space within for this affirmative prayer. It's a treatment. We're treating our minds with truth. And knowing that there's only one power, one life. And that life is the life of the Creator. That is life itself in all of its different facets and forms, in the variety, the unlimited variety of itself. Oh, I know this is where every one of us not only is from, each and every one of us is this wonderful presence of the divine, individualized, yet all one. And I am so grateful that we get to come together today to talk about one of the many spiritual paths that lead to our not just evolution, our enlightenment, allowing us to recognize the light that each and every one of us is. And today is the path of vulnerability, as seen with the naked eye. That's right. The I am, where we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, allow ourselves to see ourselves for who we are and see each other for who we are. And so I am knowing that the right and perfect music is chosen, the right and perfect words are being expressed and shared with Lita Perez, our practitioner, and all those who are watching and commenting and sharing. Perhaps you get to share your own experience and add that to the mix. And how wonderful it is to know that this is a safe place for this to occur, to happen, to be the greater self to be revealed. And with this and so much more, I just bless this service, this conversation, this celebration, knowing that, lives are indeed forever touched. And I am knowing that there is that place of peace within me, within each and every one, wherever you are, everywhere you are, everywhere we are, that yes, peace exists in a powerful way. It is a shared vision of humanity that there be peace on the inside of each and every one of us and everything we view around us. There is peace. And I name this and I bless it. And I know that each one gets in some way, shape, or form to express it, to be it and express it, to share it, and profoundly know that yes, peace is the way to go. Peace and love. And I know this word spoken into the law of divine right action is already manifesting. One mind, one heart, one love at a time. So I let it be. The good that is unfolding to be right here, right now. And I affirm it by saying, and so it is, and now it is. Peace and blessings, beloveds. So I have a strong feeling that this is my part two. Well, we are professionals, ready, willing, and able to remind you that spirit is the power, charged and always already within you for your immediate use. And please feel free to contact us for prayer requests. You can contact us. And please remember that all prayer requests are kept in the strictest of confidence. And we do spiritual mind treatment prayer for a period of 7 days. If you want more time, let us know. If your prayer has been answered, let us know. And you can send your prayer request to our email, oneLove@onelovecenter.org, or you can call us at a voice message at 646-685-3344. Also, Centers for Spiritual Living, Home Office, we have a World Ministry of Prayer. You can email us at email them at oneprayer@csl.org, or you can call them and leave a message at 424-235-4326. Remember, all prayer requests are kept in the strictest of confidence. If you need more time with a practitioner, and yes, I'm a minister, however, I am first and foremost a practitioner, any of us, you can let us know, and we'll have certain time set aside for you. It's on a fee basis. However, no one is turned away. So thank you so much. We're going to bring Lita Perez to the forefront. It's her, but she brought her smile with her.
Yes, I did. Welcome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. So yes, we're talking about the path of vulnerability. And
Yes.
of course, I couldn't leave that alone. I had to add seen with the naked eye. Now some might think, well, the naked eye, does it mean you're not wearing glasses or sunglasses? Well, that too. However, we get to see, without those rose-colored filtered, lenses of our brain, that cloud the truth, or at least seem to obstruct the truth.
Right.
By our own reckoning, by our own remembering, by our own stuff, that reinvention.
Right.
There's what happened, and then there's what we think about what happened, and what we felt about what happened, and then we make up something else besides what happened. And being vulnerable means, I get to let that stuff go.
Right.
Because a lot of times I'm putting it out in front of me thinking that I'm going to be insulated from whatever is on the outside that I distrust. And that distrust really is what's going on the inside. Okay. If and when I'm trusting in the divine, I can be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
But certain things have to happen. And that's why there is a path of vulnerability. It's like going to the dentist. They don't just open your mouth and yank something out. They prepare you. Well, this doesn't look like this is going to be good for you. I think maybe we need to remove it, and then they shoot you up with Novocaine or whatever they're using these days. So yeah, right. There's a path to it. It's not just that raw experience. However, sometimes it does seem raw, no matter how much we prepare, but that's why we're talking about the path for our vulnerability, which is essential for our path of enlightenment. It's the same path. As we allow ourselves to become vulnerable, we allow ourselves to actually grow stronger. However, what would you like to say about vulnerability, the path of vulnerability?
It's allowing ourselves, I think, and for me, just to be open to what is, and being able to share a part of yourself that you would probably want to hide behind a mask about, and feeling comfortable in that vulnerability and feeling safe as well. So that's what I see that as when I saw that this was, our topic today, last week. I was thinking about, how many things I keep my mask on instead of just taking it off and letting others see the true value of who I am.
Yeah, thank you for that. And the great reminder is we were not born with a mask. We have to actually put it on. But before we put it on, we've got to make one. And I don't always accept the masks that come from other people. I might say, "Oh, I like that mask. I like the way they cover up their stuff. Their stuff doesn't stink so bad when they, you know, maybe I'll try that." No, it's like, oh, make my own, come up with my own stink and smell and barriers and masks to
Right.
deflect myself from looking at the truth of myself.
Hmm.
And it takes courage a lot of times
Yes.
to be able to look at our in a naked way, like without the stuff.
Mhm.
And because it's not a practice, it can be daunting. It can be scary to like, who would I be? I
Yeah.
know for women, actually wear, the makeup, and men wear makeup too. However, um, I've known women who were so attached to wearing makeup that
Mm.
they could not feel comfortable. Uh,
Being naked.
letting anybody see them, even in their own home. Like when they wake up in the morning, they're like, "No, don't look at me."
Mhm.
They can't do Zoom, without putting a what they say, right? Putting a face on.
Yeah.
You know how they think the world wants to see them. Yeah, this is not a judgment. I'm just saying that for
Mhm.
some people it becomes a habit, and uh, at some point it's unconscious. It's just a habit. It's a practice,
Mhm.
and many of us do that in so many different ways in so many different areas of our lives. And so
Mhm.
being vulnerable means first and foremost taking a look at our masks or barriers or
Mhm.
whatever we put in the front in between who we are and who the world sees us as. And
Mhm.
it's funny because I know for myself, I would say, I remember even in grade school, teachers would see through my mask. I would either act like I wasn't smart enough, I didn't know the answer,
Mhm.
and they knew I knew the answer, and they would work at me and pick at me to feel courageous enough to open my mouth, raise my hand, open my mouth, and say something, even if it was wrong. But
Mhm.
the thing is, just to be able to expose me in a way that could allow me to learn instead
Mhm.
of being closed in. I was closed in a lot. I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust the world. I thought the world was going to hurt me, and again. That's part of the path, is
Mhm.
learning how to be courageous in the midst of all of that. And today we call it being spiritually courageous. You
Mhm.
know, not have to be an act of a physical act of
Right.
doing something, but it begins within, and that might prevent us from having to do something on the outside once we know the truth of who we are on the inside. So
Right.
anyway, yeah. So thank you for bringing that up, and I'd like to introduce the first. Let's do the first quote. Why don't we?
Sure. Mm. In the innermost recesses of uplifted thought and silent contemplation, there is a voice proclaiming, "This is my beloved." We must learn to listen for this voice. And that's by Ernest Holmes, Science of Mind, page 367. I loved this quote when I saw that, "This is my beloved," that inner voice that's already saying that, that's opening you up to who you really are. And often we don't listen because we judge ourselves, don't we? And again, as we spoke before about putting that mask on or covering yourself up or not allowing yourself to be vulnerable to the real, to the truth of who you are. So I really enjoyed this quote for that reason, that that little tiny voice is still there, just just as simple and as quiet or as resounding it needs to be to remind you that you are in the recesses of your minds through thought and silent contemplation. It is saying, "This is my beloved. You are my beloved. I am beloved." I love this quote. What was your feeling on this?
Yeah, I love that too. One of the most important things is in the innermost recesses of uplifted thought and silent contemplation. It doesn't mean we have to be deep in meditation for a whole long time. We can have uplifted thought and silent contemplation in 60 seconds. And a lot of times we're not even aware of it. I am aware of it now, but before, when I would wash dishes, I would time would just seem to stop. And I realized that I was in silent contemplation. I mean, sometimes I might play music or something, but for the most part, it's there's some. I mean, maybe the action of cleaning, maybe that's a spiritual,
Mhm.
practice. However, I find that that voice is always speaking. It
Absolutely.
doesn't yell. it's not. It's like, hey, pay attention. It's like, okay, yes, you are my beloved. You are love. You are joy. And it's like very often I need to be still and quiet to pay attention, to listen. And we might be very comfortable hearing it so much so that we overlook it,
Mm. Yeah.
take it for granted.
Yeah.
However, the ways of the world are loud for that reason.
Mhm.
They're loud to get their attention, to get our attention on them.
And this brings a thought up for me. Sometimes the voice is coming from someone else who will say something or mention something, or you're looking for that, whatever that you might be looking for. It may be something that someone else says, and you go, oh my gosh, I'm hearing it for the first time. So the voice doesn't only come from within sometimes. I feel sometimes the message can be in the conversation of those who might be there as the messenger for you.
That's very profound. And we can give accolades to oneness, to the one mind.
Mhm.
Because yes, there's the celestial voice. There's that one mind that
Yeah.
has that one voice that's speaking to everyone. And yeah, if we're not hearing it from in our own noise, somebody else is going to be able to, because there's still that one mind. It's that one voice. And yeah, I get to hear it coming from another angle. However, yes, we are one. So
Mhm.
that experience of seemingly someone else, which is really a reflection of the divine as which
Mhm.
we are one, and so therefore we do get to hear it. And that's what you and I do. That's what so many of us do, is we're speaking to others, the truth, the same truth. That's why when I found this teaching, I was like, oh my God, I've been hearing this, you know, and not
Mhm.
qualifying it.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, I don't know where that came from. Oh, who said that? What was that? Dismissing it, you know, thinking I'm weird. Well, okay, well, maybe, but
Mhm.
but strange. Like, nope, I don't know anybody else who talks like that. And then when I started hearing it and realizing, like, wow, I feel the same way. I even think the same way
Mhm.
in that respect.
That's
Those same thoughts, So anyway, the reflection here, and everyone can tune in to this. What would it feel like to be to trust, truly trust the quiet inner voice within me? And where is my life? Where in my life am I being invited to listen more deeply? And I invite each one to just pick one place. Could be family, could be school, like home or school or work or
mhm.
out in the street. For me, a lot of times it's driving. I'm behind the wheel a lot. And if I get caught up with on the other side of the windshield, you know, um, I feel like I am being affected by all that stuff.
Right.
If somebody honks a horn, it seems to break that silence, and my attention gets thwarted, gets diverted or detoured. So however, when I'm driving and I have my music on, my spiritual music, or it could be music that I like that is positive, um, I tend to be able to listen more deeply to the inner voice that's in alignment, because we're talking about love. Okay. And so therefore, if somebody honks a horn, I can bless you, you know, yeah, thank you for your love, you know.
Mhm.
Anyway, I'll read the next one.
Okay.
The foundation of courage is vulnerability, the ability to navigate uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. Brene Brown, Braving the Wilderness. And very quickly, I'll say that, courage doesn't just, just happen. We don't just have courage or get courage.
Mm,
There is an understanding of, allowing ourselves to feel not necessarily a threat, but an opportunity for that greater self to be revealed in whatever situation or circumstance that is.
mm,
And that means being vulnerable, the ability to navigate uncertainty. That means that if I am only attempting things that seem manageable, then I'm very certain it's going to be small. It's going to be, a small experience. Uh, and that does not encourage growth. But the risk and emotional exposure, that means there's an exercise happening. There's that trust. There's that belief that regardless of what happens, because I'm uncertain, I call it the unknowingness, I'm going to be okay, And it's going to take that, and we'll call it courage to step forward, even if it's just one step. But yeah, go ahead. What comes up for you?
No, I was reading the that reflection of
Okay.
where in my life I'm being called to choose vulnerability over protection. And just that there, right away, I my instinct is to protect first rather than be vulnerable. It made me realize that it does take a lot of courage for what might be waiting for me there. It does take a lot of courage to step into that vulnerability and allow myself to see what is waiting for me on the other side of that. But my first instinct was protect myself first and then see and look into it and decide and wonder, if I should be vulnerable in that particular situation.
I have a question for you and for everyone. You mentioned something that is in a phraseology that many of us use. You said a lot of courage. How much courage is a lot of is a
Right.
lot of courage? How much? Do we know? So is it quantifiable? Like,
Mhm,
well, I need an ounce of courage or a pound of courage or
mhm,
you know. Now, what comes up for me is when we talk about problems. Um, and when we many times, of course, in our practice, we are spiritual practitioners, and we are here to assist to assist everyone in knowing the truth about whatever situation they're going through in life. And many people will call them problems. And however, we know, I don't care what religion it is, what spiritual path, that there are no problems to God. God is all powerful, all knowing, okay, everywhere. Creator has created everything out of itself, so it could not make a problem that could not seemingly problem that could not be surmounted. Okay, so we have everything within us to overcome that challenge. Okay. Yeah, problem? No, it's not a problem. And usually that courage, however much courage we need, is probably equal to the amount of fear that we've projected, into our lives as well. So if it's an ounce of fear, we need an ounce of courage. That's I think that's what comes up for me. And let me take a look at the reflection. It says, where in my life am I being called to choose vulnerability over protection? And what courage might be waiting for me there? To choose vulnerability is an act of courage, is an act of faith, is an act of trust. And that in and of itself, to me, is protection. I am protected from fear, from doubt, from worry by being vulnerable enough. It doesn't necessarily mean a lot. Being vulnerable enough to face it, to look at it. And that's what we call courage. Just to look at it. I'm like, we don't have to do anything, you know. So, anyway, um, yeah, courage is ever present whenever it is necessary. I mean, yeah, it's waiting whenever we need it. It's
Mhm.
there. Yeah. All right. So, something came up in our conversation before, and we were talking about surrender, surrendering that opens you to healing. And surrender usually has to take place when we are trying to protect ourselves.
Mhm.
When we feel the need to protect ourselves, and we can look at the world stage, as it's called, where people who are acting out of fear feel they need to be protected.
Mm.
Worst case scenario, that I thought they were going to bomb me, so I bombed them first.
Right.
You know, no, we have to surrender that kind of belief, that kind of thinking.
Mhm.
That's not forward and progressive thinking. That's not love. So anyway, why don't you talk about some of that, about that surrender?
Well, you know what? I'd really like to read it because when I read it, I really felt it. Um,
Hmm.
so surrender's not defeat; it is release. Every time we let go, something essential is revealed. Now, listen to that. Every time we let go, something essential is revealed. And the fifth step of spiritual mind treatment, when we release our word, knowing that the law is already acting. When we release it, we already know that it's already done. So we release resistance to the highest good that is ready to emerge.
Mm.
Healing is revealed when we allow room for vulnerability, when we surrender, set aside the ego, and stop trying to control. Instead, we know that the law brings the right action and proper results. In this way, we let go of the lesser to know the greater being a capital G is expressing in our lives. And it really touched me to read that because it really defined surrendering ourselves to healing. And it just said it perfectly, especially when it said it's every time we let go, something essential is revealed. The one thing that we need to see isn't shown to us until we surrender to it. So I thought that was very powerful. Thank you so much for allowing me to share that. That was something that I really sat and immersed myself in myself during meditation. I thought was wonderful.
And thank you for pointing that out because, again, and for everybody, and reminders for ourselves, vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness.
Mhm.
The act of courage doesn't mean that somebody had to be fearful. It just means, you get to step up. You get to, we already have a foundation. I
Right.
mean, it doesn't mean I'm afraid of falling. Doesn't mean I'm afraid of failing. It just means that that energy of using courage is
Mm.
based and built on faith and trust and love and appreciation and gratitude and all of that. That's all included in that path. That
Right.
from that we move forward into the unknown, into the uncertain. However, one thing we can be certain about is that wherever we go, we are protected without thinking we have to build a wall to protect us. I mean, a physical wall or a barrier of seclusion, of non-communication, things of that nature, hiding,
Mm.
uh, playing small, all of those things we think to protect our very fragile ego, our the small s of ourself,
Mhm.
that doesn't know how it's going to handle
Right.
seeming defeat or maybe criticism. Uh, it's like, or be able to courageously use that same energy the same thought power, same energy, into knowing that I don't know,
Yeah.
and I'll be okay.
And you'll be
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I call
Absolutely.
it knowing in the unknowingness. I know that regardless of, no one knows what's going to happen each and every second,
Hmm.
the next second and the next and the next.
Right.
We courageously, however, move forward regardless of those thoughts,
And allow
as
our
if in spite of those thoughts.
Mhm.
That's where our power is,
Mhm.
and that's where the courage is. So it doesn't necessarily mean I have to build up all this, uh, uh, everything, my build up my protection, build up my belief, build up all this stuff, and then I can move forward. No,
Mhm.
we're already in living in a state of risk.
Right.
That
Right.
doesn't mean we're going to be hurt. It just
Mhm.
means that I'm risking moving into what I don't know. That
Mhm.
I'm risking the comfort, as you mentioned earlier, that the comfortability of what I already know.
Right.
And many times that can be very confining.
Mm.
So anyway, go ahead, take on that next one.
Oh, okay. No matter how lost in fear or distrust we may be, no matter how consumed or disoriented by hurt and anger, we can find our way back to all that is heartening by giving ourselves over completely to attention and appreciation. And this quote is by Mark Nepo, The Endless Practice, Becoming Who You Were Born to Be. That's a wonderful quote. No matter how lost in fear or distrust we may be, no matter how consumed or disoriented by hurt and anger, we can find our way back to all that is heartening by our giving ourselves over completely to attention and appreciation. Wow. Yeah. It's it really resonates with finding out who you really are. Sometimes you don't know just how something is holding you back that um, is for your good, and you hold on so tight for fear and distrust of it that it doesn't allow you become stagnant, you freeze in that moment, right? um, but once we give of ourselves, when we release that, we really get to see what what we were missing and what we can now appreciate in ourselves. How do you see this?
Well, something had came to me, a question for everybody, or a comment. And it's a comment and a question. Do you know anybody who does not like to look at themselves in the mirror naked or at all? But especially naked. Some people won't look at themselves. I mean, basically just from their head up, just to make sure they feel presentable to the outside world, which is
Mm,
really being presentable to whatever belief we have about ourselves. And so, yeah, the fear and distrust, it's more about the fear and distrust about what I think about myself in relation to the world.
mm,
Okay. And so the hurt and anger comes when the real, unfortunately, it's not a realization, but the hurt and anger comes when there's no real, when there's the experience of not being able to control what's going on, either out in the outside world or
mhm,
even within ourselves. I cannot control my emotions. And so therefore, I'm going to shut down and keep all these uh, um, influences away so that I can really be in control of my emotions. And even then, whether we are out of the box with our emotions, the hurt and the anger, or it's self-inflicted.
mm,
Yeah, we get to find our way back to ourselves. Um, Attention and appreciation for to me, to who I am, not who other people tell me who they think I am, not to what I think other people think I am, even sometimes not what I think I am.
mm,
Because sometimes I can think terrible things about myself. I'm not this, I'm not that, I don't do this, I don't have this. Oh my goodness. We can go on and on in a like in a heartbeat, you know.
Right.
However, the full attention and appreciation, that brings me right back to the truth of who I am. And here's the thing about appreciation. If you think about it in financial terms,
Mm-hmm.
whatever investment attention that we put, like in our bank account, it appreciates, it grows, it doesn't depreciate,
Mm-hmm.
it appreciates. Now, banks they don't give a lot of interest, you know. But spiritually speaking, the more interest, more attention that we put in our own life, the true nature of who we are, well, that's interest, and
Mm-hmm.
it appreciates, it grows based on the attention, on the interest on our attention,
Mm-hmm.
which is our intention. Our intention is to give more attention, and interest, and it appreciates, it grows. Our awareness of the truth of who we are grows. So we have less time thinking about other, things that are not the truth of who we are, regardless of where it comes from. And many times, and I like to say that sometimes when somebody's talking about me or something or somebody else, it's only to deflect the truth. And it's an opportunity to be rooted in truth, to be steeped in the truth, so much so that they can say whatever they want and it has no power over me. It doesn't have any power over my attention, it doesn't take my attention away from the truth of who I am.
Right.
Hmm.
Very good. I'll let you read the next one.
Well, thank you for letting me be myself. So, love in divine mind is the idea of universal unity. In expression, it is the power that joins and binds together the universe and everything in it. Charles Fillmore, Keep a True Lent, page 151. And universal unity. You see, this speaks to oneness. This speaks to the love of the divine, the love of the creator, the love of God that loves itself, and that shows up in and through and as all of its divine manifestations. Everything and everyone is a manifestation of the divine mind.
Mm.
To me, it's like saying God says to itself, and whatever name it uses for itself, or doesn't need a name, it's every name. It says, "How do I love me? Let me count the ways,"
Mm.
and made everything out of love
Mm.
that it is. And it to me means infinite truth. The infinite truth is that God is all there is, everywhere, equally present. That's a really quite a concept. Everything in it, in God.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyway,
Thank you so much for sharing that. That's
yeah,
wonderful.
you're welcome.
Mhm.
All right. Do we have another, or are we moving to another
We're
realm?
forward. Yeah, we're moving forward. That was the last one to this contemplative question. Would you like to ask that?
Well, there is another quote.
Oh,
uh, or so I thought.
no, that was the last quote.
Oh, okay. Well, I saw a quote that said, you can see everything with the eyes of love. You
Hmm.
can be aware that love is all around you, by Don Miguel Ruiz, The Four Agreements. And
Oh,
we're talking about the, the pathway of vulnerability as seen with the naked eye. The
mm,
eye is the eyes of love. That's the naked eye. Love doesn't need to be clothed in anything.
mm.
Love walks around naked because
That's
it's like, yeah, I'm love.
yours. Yeah.
Maybe you can call that courageous. Um, I was just at our CSL convention in Reno, Nevada. I had a roommate who walked around barefoot, and
Well,
my I mean, everywhere, on the street, everywhere.
oh my goodness.
And So his feet were naked. And did I have judgment? Yeah, I had judgment. I'm like, oh my God, that must hurt or whatever. Yeah, I don't know how long he's been
In
doing it.
Nevada? Yeah.
Yeah.
Outdoor? Yeah.
Now he wasn't walking around New York
That's
City
courageous.
barefoot. Yeah, New York City barefoot is a different experience.
All right.
But many places outside of New York City will be glass free, will be, streets are clean, stuff like that. However, um, the for me, he was like that naked eye. He was like, hey, it doesn't matter who's looking, doesn't matter who's watching, doesn't matter what anybody thinks, or says or does,
Mm,
you know. And I thought that was a very powerful expression of who he is. I mean, there are some places that say no shoes, no shirts,
no service.
no,
Yeah,
you can't come in. No,
right.
no
Okay.
service.
Yeah.
Right. So, so he did carry around some little very bare slippers if he needed to wear something,
Mhm.
uh, or if the floor was really, really cold. But yeah, other than that, I'm like, well, that's to me is the naked eye,
Mhm.
seeing the truth of who we are, regardless of what anybody else tries to how they try to clothe us to make them feel more comfortable.
Mm.
It's like some people can't look at a naked body, even if it's a statue. They're like, oh no. You know? So we see with the eyes of love that is accepting, non-judgmental.
Mm.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you for that.
And so, yeah, bring up that contemplative question again. So, after all of what we shared, and there's more to come, what aspects of myself am I still hiding? And what might be revealed if I offer them humbly to love?
Mm.
And I'll tell you, my dear friend, minister from, he was in Seattle. Um, I got to offer, my thoughts about walking around barefoot to myself.
Mhm.
I offer that to love. Like, you know what? It's okay. I love myself just the way I am.
Mm.
And we can do that. We can say that. And we can be that. So each one, everybody, take it on for yourself. I don't care when you watch this, ask yourself that question and see how long it takes for you to be honest about it. Because it could be in layers. Remember, this is a path, and we're walking that path and we uncover more things become revealed with each step that we take. Even if you're in the botanical gardens, you can't see everything from a distance. And when you walk up to where you've been looking, you see more than you've seen before.
Never
And we
know.
have a deeper and greater understanding of, oh, look at that. It's got 5 petals. Before it just looked like 2,
Mhm.
whatever. There's a greater understanding. We reveal more about ourselves, our
Mhm.
ability to dare, courageously to understand, to say to ourselves, well, I thought I knew it all. Maybe I don't.
Right.
Now
Oh,
I want to add humbly,
right.
offer them humbly to love.
Mm.
Humble is another word like courage or um, that people might make an assumption that there's a weakness there.
Mm.
Humbly means that we are in our strength, recognizing the truth of who we are,
Mm.
made in its spiritual image and likeness of the divine. That's humble. It's not when we say being humble, it doesn't mean like, oh, I have to fear God and not, dare think of myself as wonderful or strong or a child of God,
Mm.
even. Humbly just means be humble in the truth. Okay. And it doesn't make us small. It doesn't even make us mightier than anybody else. It just means we're recognizing the truth. And I just want to bring that up. So a lot of people get bent out of shape with that word humble.
Mhm.
Meaning we have to make ourselves small before something great and mighty. No, that's not what it means.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So I know we're going to our next part,
Hmm.
our affirmations. You want to introduce what it is that we do here?
Well, we breathe.
Yeah.
We are affirming with each breath the truth about ourselves, and we use positive affirmations to courageously not only recognize but reaffirm the truth about who we are and whatever given situation. And so we have it in Spanish for those who might appreciate that. And we're not going to read it in Spanish unless Lita Perez wants to read it in Spanish. Uh, However, I'm going to invite each and every one to take a breath. I like to say this now: take a breath and give a breath. Exhale, because there's part of that cycle. That's the flow of our existence. You can't have an in breath without an out breath, and vice versa. So I invite you to take in and release a breath. And we recite each affirmation twice after each breath. It is so today. It is so that today I show up authentically, open to love and transformation. Let's take another breath. It is so that today I show up authentically, open to love and transformation.
Let's take another deep breath and exhale. It is so that I trust surrender as a sacred act that opens the way for healing and higher good. Hmm. Take another
Hmm.
breath.
I invite you, leader, to do the next one in Spanish, and the rest of us can read it in English.
Es así que confío en la redención como un acto sagrado que abre el camino para la sanación y el bien superior.
Thank you. Let's take a breath. It is so that I reveal my true self with courage, allowing the divine to express fully as me. Let's do that again.
Mm.
Breathe in. It is so that I reveal my true self with courage, allowing the divine to express fully as me. This is the truth. It is so, and so it is, and now it is.
Mhm. Even
Yes, thank you. And thank you all for playing with us and being in the realm of truth. And so, this next prayer is a treatment, it's a grounding treatment, meaning that, yes, we are bringing and keeping it home within us in all of the activities of our lives from this moment forward. And so, I am knowing in this invitation, whether eyes are open or eyes are closed, or sitting or standing or walking, or however you are viewing and listening to this, that yes, this is the voice of the divine. This is the voice of God, the same voice that is operating in, through, and as each one's mind right now. The voice that you hear in your own voice is still the voice of God. And so I am knowing that each one is open and susceptible to the voice of God as it is heard. That still small voice that is speaking at all times, like that loving, caring parent that knows the best for each and every one. That sometimes just seems like it won't stop talking, but it knows the truth. It knows the best. It is the best. So each one gets to be vulnerable, to be able to be humble and listen for the truth, to the truth, and live as the truth. Yes, there is that truth in vulnerability without having to cover up, without having to wear a mask, without having to build a border, without having to feel a need for protection. That there is a guiding light within to which each of us, on some level, is already vulnerable to it. It's that light, it's that voice that gets us out of bed and puts us to bed. It has us moving throughout the day, living to the best of our ability this divine intention to put the attention on our intention, to put the attention on our interest in living the best life possible. And all of that grows through our wonderful divine availability, the ability to say yes to the greater good being revealed in, through, and as our lives. That there is indeed only one, and that is the love that expresses itself by whatever name, by each and every one of our names, is the name of love. And each one courageously says their own name is the name of love. Love, the many faces of love, doesn't need to be covered up. It is, as a reminder, whole, perfect, and complete as is, regardless of whether one wears makeup or wears a mask. The truth is always there. Can't hide from the truth. And so I give thanks for knowing this shows up in each and everyone's affair, that there is an appreciation for opportunities to grow in truth, in relationships, in each one's divine purpose for being on the planet, and all that is necessary, the love, the joy, the courage, the money. Each one says yes to all that is necessary, that is already provided by the divine. And each one says yes, so open to the flow of whatever and everything that is necessary. To be supported and to be successful in being and doing their purpose in this body life right here and right now. And I give thanks for this awareness and for this truth being exposed, that each one is exposed to the truth, not just their truth, to the truth of who they are and why they are and where they are and how they are. Yes, because it is all the reflection of the infinite divine spirit. And so I know that, yes, this word is already going forth, already ready to manifest. As this word spoken into law of divine right action says, I got this. And I release this. I surrender. Yes. Whatever courage it takes is not much. I surrender to the truth. I surrender to the knowingness that the word spoken is already bringing forth the divine intention of growth and love being expressed fully. And so I let it go, let it be, and affirm it. And invite each one to affirm it for themselves, because there's only one mind. So therefore, you know it's the truth right here, right now. And so it is, and now it is. Peace and blessings, beloved. And invite Lita back to talk more about the power of prayer.
Yes. All right. The power of prayer. Are we at abundance? The power of prayer. Yes. Let's bring that back where you can send your information to us. As you heard the prayer that we do, we are available for you. If you are seeking prayer, please email us at onelovecenter.org. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 646-685-3344. You can also contact Centers for Spiritual Living World Ministry of Prayer. And their contact is oneprayer@csl.org, or you can call 424-235-4326. And just remember that all prayers are kept in the strictest of confidence. We're here for you. If you need prayer, we are happy to be that practitioner, that person who's going to pray for you. We will do that for 7 days. Just contact us. Thank you so much. Right, next we have our abundance. And we're just really so grateful for you being here today, for being a part of our service. Even for those who watch after, we are so grateful for you. And so we want to thank you for any donations that you want to make. So if you want to make a donation, it's the same email, onelovecenter.org, PayPal, or you could do the Cash Me app, $OneLoveCSL. You can go to our website and make a donation as well. As far as our abundance, if you are ready, I would like you to place your hand on your heart, and we will do the affirmation of abundance. So take a breath. Money, as one of the many gifts of spirit, is good. And as I share my offerings, I know that I am actively creating a space to receive more gifts, more money, and more good. I am grateful for the ability to give and for the good works these gifts do in our center and in our world. And so it is, and now it is. Thank you so much. And so we'll continue now with our announcements. We are looking for tech support, as you can see. Sometimes, it's better to have someone in the back who's just following us along and doing this. Give us a call. There's the number and our usual email. If you have know anyone who is a techie and can help us out, we would love that support. 646-685-3344 or One Love Center at onelovecenter.org. Thank you for being of service, and God bless you. All right, next we have our subscribe to our magazine. There we go. This is our Science of Mind magazine. I read it every day, every morning. I wake up and I'm reading this magazine. I love it. And there's so much going on to have that daily, those daily affirmations, those daily scriptures or words, the daily guides. The magazine comes to you 2 months in one delivery. And if you choose to be a part of this, if you choose to have this, you just contact us and you'll get it for 6 months free. Just go to our website and we'll take care of that for you. Thank you so much for that. Our next announcement is, the Convention of the Americas, July 21st through the 25th. I'm so excited that I get to go there this year. I'm very excited about that. This is the email, I beg your pardon. This is the website and the email that you can go to in order to register. And it's early registration right now. I would encourage you that if you've never been and you're a part of Science of Mind, and even if you're not and you want to really start walking that spiritual path, this is a place to be, okay? It's in Chapala, Mexico, and you can email at cotalasamericas@gmail.com, or you can go to that website right there, conventionoftheamericas.org. Thank you so much. And our next announcement, we have a wonderful video I'd love to share if we can put that on.
The People of African Descent New Thought Group presents Celebrating Our Soul, Claiming Our Sacred Power at Unity Village from August 13th through 16th, 2026. This exclusive event hosts Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith of Agape International Spiritual Center, Brother Dr. Ishmael Tete From the Ethiopian Mission in Ghana, meditation leader and teacher, professional sacred space holder, Reverend Paulette Pike, and more. The People of African Descent New Thought Group once again brings you top quality masterclass presenters like Reverend Deborah Johnson, Master Practitioner Aisha Mason, Reverend Vernell Nelson, Jeffrey Noble, and more. Not only do we have empowering workshops, but the grounds and ambience are sublime. Yes, it is very hot in August in Missouri, but the best part is getting to enjoy the best that nature has to offer. You, your kids, and or your friends can enjoy the Unity Village Nature Trail, the short waterfall, the amazing labyrinth, or you can join the group that is going to the one and only Negro League Baseball Museum and the Jazz Museum. Even if you don't go to the cultural immersion and field day, you can stay on the grounds and enjoy pampering yourself with energy workers' offerings, such as a massage or reflexology, Reiki, or pranic crystal healing. That's right, pamper yourself. The best price is now during early registration through March 31st. Don't delay. Register today at padntg.org. Be there.
Yes, that's wonderful. The early bird registration for that conference is extended to this week till the 15th. So April 15th, early bird registration ends. You still may be able to do partial payments, as with also Convention of the Americas. Not only is it early bird, but you could look into doing partial payments. You don't have to pay it all at once. So look into those. You get to meet people in this teaching, in this philosophy, in this spiritual movement. And you're not alone, and it's just such a powerful way to be even more centered in this truth, and to hear the voice of the divine from all these other voices, and we're like, yes, I know I'm home. Everywhere I am, I'm home, and I know that the same for each and every one of us. And there's spiritual practices and rituals. It's just really great. In so many of our conferences and conventions. So, So, closing remarks time. Thank you for sharing your time with us today, for being with us today. And I want to say, whenever you watch this, share it. Share it, just, Facebook or YouTube, share it with your people. Maybe you think of somebody that, they need to hear this, or you just want to share it because you heard something that you really liked and you think others might enjoy it as well. Also, you can put comments in, I believe Facebook, and I believe YouTube, even after this is over. You can still put comments in there. And you can email us if you have any questions or thoughts or comments. You're like, wait a minute, what did you mean by that? Or, whatever. You can contact us and let us know. And let us know that you are watching, that you are participating at least in that way. And thank you for... we invite you to join us next Sunday. We have a wonderful guest these next 2 coming Sundays. And next week is Listening Beyond the Noise of the World. Ooh, I love that.
Yes.
Okay. So, closing remarks. Anything that you'd like to close with?
Well, just being open to your vulnerability. Remember that surrender is not a defeat, that you're absolutely releasing, and being a part of doing that is part of being courageous. I really enjoyed our talk today, and I look forward to seeing you next Sunday.
Absolutely. And definitely vulnerability means you're listening, meaning, and that's risky. It's risky to the ego. The ego's like trying to make all that noise. Listen to me. I know. And when we're still and we're quiet, that's an act of courage in the face of the noise and the ego and the doubt and the fear. And it disempowers all of that when we become vulnerable to listen to that still small voice, to that inner calling that we know. Yeah, I mean, there's something about that. We know it's correct, that it's the truth, that it is love. It may not be a practice, we might not be used to it, but it's like that path. It's a path that takes us back home to the truth of who we are, everywhere we are.
Mhm.
So, thank you again. We have a closing prayer, and then we're going to have our
Oh,
upbeat, moving song. It's just on my mind all the time because that's just way of love, way of one love. So, join me. I invite you to join as we go within. Just, oh, how grateful I am to know that there is a deep and abiding love that is me. I am it. And all that it is the same for each and every one. It is the eyes of God, the naked eye that doesn't need anything on it or around it to qualify who and what it is. It just is. And how wonderful it is to know that each of us can answer the call for the truth of who we are. I pass my word to Lita.
oh, and there is that one infinite love, isn't it? The very essence of all that I am. I recognize the courage that lives within me. That is not a force, but it's a willingness to be seen, to feel, to be open. I know that love is the binding force of the universe. I know that the power that unites and heals and restores is within me. This love that lives as me, moves through me, and connects me to life. And so I surrender. I surrender. I release the need to control or to force or to take a hold of what no longer serves me. I let go. And in knowing that surrender, that is not defeat, but a sacred release. And this release is something that is essential. I accept this moment just as it is. The very ground of my expansion, the unfolding of my consciousness, the revelation of my wholeness. I am held, I'm guided, I'm healed. And so I pass my word back to Reverend Rodney.
And each attribute of the divine is true of each and every one of us, ones of the one. Yes. And each of us gets to go out into the world with greater confidence. Call it courage, call it a deeper awareness, call it appreciation, gratitude that goes before us and makes the way smoother, with greater ease and more abundant love. For this and so much more, I give thanks. Affirm that it is so, right here and right now, for one and for all ones of the one. And so it is, and now it is. Peace and blessings. We got a wonderful song. Let's dance our way out of here.
Oh,
Peace to our
One love. nation. Joy is sacred celebration. We give thanks for all we are. Every soul has come so far. Love in action, service true. The divine spirit that is you. We're awakening, can't you see? Living love and living free. One love, one life, one spirit divine. One heart, one life. Your journey and mine. Where compassion flows and grace abounds. One love, where love grows, love is found. One love, where love grows all around. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Welcome to this sacred space where we honor every face. The splendor of the God in you, shining through in all you do. Learning, growing hand in hand. Together we will understand. Prosperous, giving, heart set free. One love is our destiny. One love, one life, one spirit divine. One heart, one life. Your journey and mine. Where compassion flows and grace abounds. Oh, one love, where love grows, love is found. One love, where love grows all around. One love, where love grows all around. One love, where love grows all around. Welcome home to one love. Yeah. Welcome home to one love. Where love grows. Where love grows. Where love grows.
Ooh, I love that.
Love that. Yes, one love grows with each and every one. Peace and blessings all. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Thank you, Lita. So wonderful.
Let me